I became someone's bonded mate because I owned a blanket. Not a fancy one. Not ceremonial. Not woven from ancestral moon silk, or blessed by a pack elder. Just a standard-issue thermal throw from the outpost supply closet, thin enough to fold into a pocket, warm enough to stop your teeth from filing complaints with your jaw. Before we continue, quick note, friend. We've just launched a brand new channel where we share more unique, emotional, and entertaining stories like this. If you enjoyed this one, you'll love what's waiting there. Please take a moment to check it out, hit subscribe, and show your support. The link is in the description. Your support means everything to us. Now, let's continue the story. If I'd known that lending it would reclassify my entire social status across 3 star systems, I would have at least watched it first. Deep Space Outpost K-17 had a climate problem. The temperature fluctuated every 6 hours to accommodate different species rotations, which meant humans were always either sweating through their shirts or shivering like malfunctioning drones. I leaned toward shivering. That's how I met her. She stood in the corridor, arms wrapped around herself, tail stiff with cold, silver-gray ears pinned low. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Very clearly not human. Her fur was thick but oddly matte, like it was designed for real suns, not artificial station lighting. Her name, unpronounceable to me, had been translated as Lyrics, which I appreciated. I was on my way to recalibrate a faulty oxygen sensor. She was on her way to not freeze. You're shaking, I said, because humans are excellent at stating obvious things. It is invigorating, she replied, teeth chattering. My muscles are attempting to escape my body. That's not how muscles work. It feels like it. I stared. She stared. We both stood there, waiting for the other to solve the problem. Eventually I sighed, dug into my jacket pocket, and unfolded the thermal blanket. Here, I said. Temporary fix. She blinked. Slowly. Then faster. Then her pupils widened like I'd just proposed. This is yours, she said carefully. Yeah. And you are offering it. For the moment. To me. Yes. Without formal request. Correct. She took it with both hands like it might explode, wrapped it around her shoulders, and exhaled. Not a normal exhale. A full-body one. The kind that releases tension you didn't know you were holding. Oh, she said. Better? My circulatory systems are singing. Plural? She smiled. That should have warned me. Thank you, nest sharer. I laughed. Because obviously that was a joke. No problem, wolf girl. Her ears perked. You use affection titles casually. I use everything casually. She studied me with the intensity of someone reading a legal document written on my face. Then she nodded once, very solemnly. I accept. Accept, warmth. Accept you. I blinked. That's great. She turned and walked away, blanket trailing behind her like a cape. I figured I'd get it back later. Or not. Outpost life was full of small losses. What I didn't expect was the nods. The next morning, I walked into the mess hall, and a hulking reptilian maintenance chief dipped his head at me. Not a polite nod. A respectful one. Acknowledgement level. Then a pair of avian traders shuffled aside to clear my path. Someone whispered, Bold one. I checked behind me for an actual bold person. By lunch, I'd been offered a larger meal portion, a better chair, and a beverage I was warned not to ingest without medical supervision. I thought it was because I'd finally fixed the oxygen leak on level C. I was wrong. Lyrics arrived with a tray, spotted me, and her entire posture changed. Shoulders back. Tail high. Smile wide. She crossed the room and sat beside me, close enough that her fur brushed my sleeve. Our nest is warm, she announced. I choked on my drink. Our what? She pointed at my jacket pocket. You keep the warm skin with you. Symbolic. It's a blanket. Yes. That's portable. Yes. Her eyes softened. You are considerate. I leaned in. Listen, I think there's been a translation issue. She leaned closer. I enjoy when you lean. I straightened. The avians were watching. So was the reptile. I felt like I was failing a test I didn't know I'd enrolled in. I meant the word ness, I said. Humans don't choose mates publicly, she finished. I know. You are discreet. I am confused. Ah. Ritual nerves. I just gave you a blanket. She tilted her head. And nothing. Her ears drooped slightly. In my culture, offering personal warmth without demand is a courtship declaration. A claim of shared rest space. A promise of protection. I stared at her. It's polyester. She blinked. You name your textiles? I'm saying it doesn't mean anything. She processed that. Her expression didn't change, but her tail slowed. You did not mean to bond. No. You did not mean to offer me a nest. No. You did not intend to imply long-term emotional availability. I hesitated. I intended to be polite. She smiled again. Brighter. Even more dangerous. That afternoon, I received a formal visitation request. From her pack. I didn't know she had a pack. I didn't know they were on their way. I didn't know I'd been listed as a primary warmth provider. I found out when a 6-foot-tall, scarred, fur-dense alien with ceremonial piercings blocked the hallway and sniffed me. You smell like comfort, he said. I use unscented soap. You are small. Genetically. You are bold. I own a blanket. He stared. Then nodded. Legendary. I tried to explain. I tried to clarify. Every word I said was filtered through cultural context I didn't have access to. When I said I was just a guy, they heard. Humble alpha. When I said it was no big deal, they heard. Subtle dominance. When I said I'm not ready for anything serious, they heard. Ritual delay. Lyrics walked beside me the entire time, looking pleased. You should have told me, I whispered. You did not ask. I didn't think. You rarely do. Rude. By evening, my quarters had been reclassified as shared space. A bowl of imported fruit appeared. Someone had added extra pillows. My blanket was folded carefully at the center of my bed like a ceremonial object. Lyric stood in the doorway, hands clasped behind her back. I can relocate, she said. If your territory requires solitude. I opened my mouth to say yes. Immediately. Instinctively. Then I saw her ears twitch. Temporarily, sure, but not because. She stepped inside, set her bag down, and curled on the far side of the bed, tail tucked. I will not crowd, she said. Our nest can be symbolic. I sat. Carefully. Like the mattress might report me. This is a misunderstanding, I said. Yes. And you're okay with that? She shrugged. Misunderstandings are how stories begin. I rubbed my face. I was tired. Cold. Confused. And annoyingly a little warm. She pulled the blanket over both of us, leaving a respectful gap. Do not worry, she murmured. I will not bite without consent. I froze. She added, that was humor. I'm dying, I whispered. You are bonding. I am regretting. She smiled in the dark. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, realizing that somewhere between politeness and panic, I had accidentally become emotionally significant to a creature whose culture did not believe in casual warmth. And the worst part? I didn't hate it. When I woke up, the blanket was still on me. That should have been comforting. It should have been normal. Instead, it felt like waking up wearing a medal I didn't earn and definitely didn't understand. The kind of medal that came with responsibilities. Possibly rituals. Possibly biting. Lyrics was already awake. Of course she was. Predator species didn't sleep like humans. They slept like they were temporarily pretending not to be awake. She lay on her side, ears relaxed, watching me with the calm patience of someone waiting for a kettle to boil. The blanket covered both of us, and the fact that it felt nice made me immediately suspicious of myself. "You are warm," she said. "I'm humid," I muttered. "It's what we do. I have reviewed the bonding guidelines," she added. My stomach dropped. "You have what?" She lifted a data pad. "I searched human courtship rituals and blanket sharing meaning." "Oh no. It appears humans use blankets for many things." "Stop right there." She blinked innocent. "I am being thorough. I'm going to work," I said, sitting up too fast. "I have to recalibrate something. A thing. With bolts." She watched me dress like I was putting on armor. I felt her eyes on my back, and I hated how that was both terrifying and flattering. Before I could escape, she held out the blanket like a sacred offering. "You forgot your nest." "It's not." I stopped. Arguing had only made this worse. "Thanks." She smiled, pleased, and I walked into the corridor carrying the thermal blanket like it was evidence. That's when I saw the official notice pasted outside my door. Not digital. Physical. Paper. Someone had hand-stamped it with an outpost seal. In bold, overly confident letters. Cohabitation status updated, shared rest space approved. Under it, in smaller print, warmth provider designation, primary. I stared long enough for my soul to detach and hover. A passing janitorial drone chirped at me. I swear it sounded judgmental. I tore the paper down and stuffed it into my pocket like I could erase reality by wrinkling it. In the mess hall, things were worse. Every chair at my usual table was empty. Not because it was reserved. Because it was avoided. Like sitting near me might get you pulled into whatever interspecies romantic scandal I was apparently starring in. When I approached, conversations dipped. Eyes tracked me. A group of insectoid technicians clicked among themselves and then abruptly decided they didn't need breakfast anymore. Lyrics arrived behind me, tails swinging confidently, and the room reacted like a celebrity had entered, except I was the celebrity's clueless emotional support animal. She sat beside me again, closer this time, and placed one hand casually on the blanket in my lap. A declaration. A claim. A public branding, but soft. A reptilian officer across the room stared like I'd insulted his mother's honor. Lyrics waved at him, cheerful. He flinched. I leaned in. "Why is everyone acting like I'm carrying a bomb?" "You are," she whispered back. "A romantic bomb. I'm going to explode." "Many do. Not like that." She smiled, deeply entertained. A station attendant approached, eyes wide, and placed a tray of food in front of me. Not my usual portion. Double. With an extra protein slab on top and a garnish that looked like it belonged in a museum. "For the bonded one," the attendant said reverently. "I didn't order this." "It has been authorized," the attendant replied. "By her." Lyrics nodded. I stared at her. "You bribed the kitchen. I improved your nutrition. Bonded mates must be fed." "I'm not." She leaned closer. "Eat. You look thin." "I look human." "Yes. Adorably fragile." That word hit wrong and right at the same time. I stabbed the protein slab with unnecessary force. That's when the first rival arrived. He was tall, fur-black, and built like the concept of intimidation. His muzzle bore a metal ring, and his eyes were sharp, predatory, and, annoyingly, handsome in a way that made me feel like a folded chair. He marched straight toward our table, stopping close enough that I could smell him, spice, smoke, and entitlement. Lyrics' ears rose. Her posture changed instantly. She wasn't just warm and playful anymore. She was pack. "Ravik," she said, voice flat. "I heard you nested," Ravik replied, not taking his eyes off me. "With a human?" "Correct." He looked me up and down like he was evaluating whether I'd survive a strong breeze. "This is him?" "This is him," Lyrics confirmed, pleased. Ravik huffed. "He is small." I swallowed. "And you're rude." Lyrics' tail flicked. Her eyes brightened. Ravik's brows lifted. He speaks back. I do that, I said. It's a symptom. Ravik leaned in. Human. Do you understand what you have claimed? I claimed a blanket. Lyrics made a quiet sound that might have been laughter. Ravik's eyes narrowed. He pretends ignorance. I'm not pretending. Ravik straightened, voice carrying. A nesting offer is a dominant statement. A promise of warmth, protection, and exclusivity. You offered it without challenge. Without ceremony. Without pack approval. I opened my mouth. Lyrics cut in, calm. He offered it because I was cold. That is the point. Ravik's gaze shifted to her. You are a high-status female of our line. You cannot be claimed by accident. Lyrics's lips pulled back slightly, not into a snarl, but into something sharp. Apparently I can. There was a silence, thick as artificial gravity. Ravik's nostrils flared. Then the human must prove he is worthy. I laughed once, short and humorless. I'm an engineer. I prove worth by keeping oxygen inside the walls. Ravik's eyes flashed. He speaks in riddles. It's called sarcasm. Lyrics leaned closer to me, voice low. Be careful. If you embarrass him too much, he may challenge you. I stared. I am not challenging anyone. You might, she said. Humans do unexpected things when cornered. Like throwing chairs. Or kissing. Or declaring war. I have never declared war. You have never nested before either. Fair. Ravik finally stepped back, but not without leaving his threat hanging in the air like smoke. I will attend the nest presentation, he said. If the human cannot hold you, he will lose you. Lose me where? I asked, panicked. Is there a lost and found? Lyrics smiled sweetly. Do not worry. I prefer my nest. Ravik walked away, and the room started breathing again. I turned to Lyrics. What is a nest presentation? She blinked. Oh. I hated that. Oh, meant she'd forgotten to mention the part where I was about to be publicly humiliated. It is a simple ritual, she said. Define simple. You show the pack the nest. You demonstrate you can provide warmth. You offer gifts. You answer questions. I answer questions every day. It's called being an employee. This is more personal. Of course it is. She leaned in like she was sharing a recipe. You must also show you understand my needs. I understand you like blankets and terrifying declarations. Her eyes softened. And you like being needed. I froze. She wasn't teasing. That was the problem. She noticed something real. I looked away. I like my job. You like fixing things, she said. It makes you feel safe. I swallowed. Being seen was uncomfortable. Being seen by a werewolf alien woman who thought my blanket was a wedding ring was worse. Okay, I said, forcing lightness. So I just need to show them the blanket and say I'm warm. Yes. That's it. She tilted her head. Also, pack elders will examine your scent to confirm bonding. I choked on air. They're going to what? They will sniff. I'm going to dissolve. It is respectful. I'm not built for this. Lyrics's tail brushed my leg, comforting and possessive. You will be fine, she murmured. You already did the hardest part. What's that? She smiled. You were kind without asking for anything. My chest tightened, irritatingly. Then the outpost intercom beeped. A calm synthetic voice announced. Attention! Visiting delegation from the Varkai Pack has docked. Cultural liaison protocols now active. The mess hall erupted into whispers. People stared at me like I was about to be launched into space as an offering. Lyrics stood, proud, and offered me her hand. I stared at it like it was a trap. You don't have to, she said softly. I wanted to say no. I wanted to say I was a misunderstood man with a blanket, not a legend. I wanted to go back to recalibrating oxygen sensors and being invisible. But her hand stayed there, steady. And the truth was, I'd been lonely long before she ever got cold. So I took it. Her claws were sheathed. Her grip was warm. And the entire mess hall reacted like I'd just signed a treaty. Lyrics leaned in, voice low and playful. Now they will think you are serious. I swallowed. I'm not. She smiled. Then you must act very convincingly. She led me toward the corridor, toward the docking bay, toward a waiting pack that believed I was either an apex alpha or an idiot. Honestly? Still unclear. By the time we reached the docking corridor, my hand was still in hers, and my brain was still trying to reboot. The pack arrived like a living storm. 6 of them. All tall. All furred. All built like gravity was optional for them but not for me. They moved with synchronized confidence, tails high, eyes scanning. The moment they saw Lyrics, their formation shifted subtly around her, protective, deferential, proud. Then they saw me. Everything stopped. Every gaze locked. Every nose twitched. One of them inhaled sharply. Oh, she said. That is him. That is him? Another asked. I waved. I didn't know why. My body betrayed me. Lyrics squeezed my hand. This is my bonded warmth provider, she said. I choked. She patted my back like I was coughing, which only made it worse. They approached slowly. Not threatening. Curious. Reverent. One of the elders stepped forward. Her fur was silver white, her eyes bright with intelligence. She leaned down, sniffed the air around me, and hummed. He smells like uncertainty, she said. I am, I replied. She nodded approvingly. Honest. Another elder sniffed. And fabric softener. I like being comfortable. Murmurs rippled. He is soft, someone whispered. Deceptively, another replied. Lyrics beamed like she'd won a prize. They escorted us to a designated cultural chamber, soft lighting, low seating, ambient warmth. I sat rigidly, hands on my knees like I was about to be grated. The blanket lay folded between us. It looked innocent. That was the problem. The silver elder gestured. Show us the nest. I blinked. It's that. She waited. I waited. Lyrics leaned in. You must explain it. It's rectangular? Her ears twitched. With feeling. I inhaled. Okay. So. I saw her shivering. I had a blanket. I didn't want her to be cold. That's it. The pack stared. That is it? Someone asked. Yes. You did not calculate status? No. You did not consider pack politics? What? You did not intend to emotionally destabilize her? I looked at Lyrics. She was smiling softly. I really didn't. Silence fell. The silver elder tilted her head. Then why did you give it? I hesitated. Because, I said, no one should be cold if you can help it. Something shifted. It was subtle. But I felt it. Like the room inhaled. Lyrics' tail stilled. The silver elder's eyes softened. Explain this logic, she said. I rubbed my neck. I don't know. Humans just do that. We don't always need a reason. If someone's uncomfortable, we try to fix it. Even if it's inconvenient. Inconvenient? One of them echoed. It was my blanket. Lyrics' hand tightened around mine. The silver elder looked at her. He gave you his only warmth source. Yes, Lyrics said proudly. He chose discomfort. Yes. For you. Yes. The elder nodded slowly. Dangerous species. I snorted. They asked questions? So many questions. Why did I hesitate when I answered? Why did I keep glancing at Lyrics? Why did I fidget? Why did I joke when nervous? Why did I deflect praise? I didn't know I was being examined until I was. Then Ravik arrived. He entered like he owned the gravity. He stopped in front of me, towering, eyes hard. So, he said, you are the nest builder. I'm more of a maintenance guy. You offer no formal challenge. I barely offer opinions. You are unscarred. I avoid pain. You are not dominant. I once lost a fight to a doorframe. Gasps. Lyrics hid a smile. Ravik circled me slowly. Why should she choose you? I swallowed. She already did. That is not an answer. I looked at Lyrics. She watched me, quiet, waiting. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to perform. I didn't want to compete. But I also didn't want to walk away. She doesn't need to choose me, I said. She can choose herself. The room went silent. Ravik stopped. Lyrics' ears lifted. What does that mean? Ravik demanded. It means I didn't try to win her. I didn't think I had to. I just helped. That is weak. No, Lyrics said sharply. That is rare. I looked at her, startled. She stood tail high, eyes fierce. He did not posture, she said. He did not demand. He did not bargain. He did not perform. He did not even know I was watching. Ravik scoffed. Ignorance is not virtue. It is when paired with kindness, the Silver Elder said. Ravik growled softly. Lyrics turned to me. Tell them why you are uncomfortable. I blinked. What? Tell them the truth. I didn't want to. That was the point. But everyone was watching. I don't like being needed, I said slowly. I like helping. But I don't like being the center. I'm bad at attention. I mess things up. I overthink. I joke when I should talk. She stepped closer. I didn't mean to make anything complicated. I continued. I saw you shaking. My throat tightened. And I knew what that felt like. She tilted her head. Cold? Lonely. The word landed heavy. Lyrics inhaled sharply. The room went still. I didn't give you the blanket because of culture, I said. I gave it because I know what it's like to be somewhere unfamiliar, uncomfortable, and pretending you're fine. Lyrics' eyes glistened. I didn't want you to pretend. Her tail wrapped around my leg without thinking. Ravik looked unsettled. The Silver Elder leaned forward. You bonded without strategy. Yeah. You acted without instinct. Pretty much. You offered comfort without possession. Yes. She smiled. That is terrifying. Lyrics laughed softly, emotional. He does not even know how powerful he is, she said. I am not powerful, I protested. You are, she replied. You just use it gently. My chest did that annoying thing again. Ravik exhaled sharply. Then prove it. My heart dropped. How? The Nest presentation. Lyrics stiffened. Ravik's eyes locked onto mine. If you can show you understand what you offered, I will step aside. And if I can't? You will release her. Lyrics turned to him. I will not be claimed like an object. Ravik hesitated. Then, reluctantly, he bowed his head. Then you may choose, he said. After the ritual. I felt sick. Lyrics looked at me, suddenly uncertain. You don't have to do this, I said. I want to, she replied. But I need to know if you do. I didn't. That was the problem. I didn't want to hurt her. I didn't want to humiliate myself. I didn't want to go back to being invisible. I didn't want to be someone's accidental soulmate. But I also didn't want to let go. Not because of destiny. Because of choice. Tell me what the ritual really means, I said quietly. She hesitated. Then spoke. It means I believed you wanted to share a life space. Not forever. But intentionally. It means you saw me as someone to rest beside. I swallowed. And if I fail? She looked down. Then I must pretend I misunderstood. That hurt more than I expected. I rubbed my face. I don't know what I'm doing, I admitted. She smiled faintly. Neither do I. But I am tired of being cold. I looked at the blanket between us. At how small it was. At how much it had already changed. Okay, I said. Her ears perked. I'll do the stupid ritual. Her smile was immediate and radiant. Even if you fail? Especially if I fail. She stepped forward without thinking and hugged me. Not culturally. Not symbolically. Just physically. Warm. The room erupted. Gasps. Whispers. Shock. Ravik stared like he'd witnessed blasphemy. I froze, then, slowly, wrapped my arms around her. I wasn't good at this. But I wasn't cold. And somewhere in that, I realized something dangerous. I wasn't just in trouble. I was invested.